I like that title. That title's yeah, that might hit. Yeah. I ain't here to sell y'all no dreams and no shit like that, you know. Yeah. Look, nigga, I ain't here to play make-believe. And I ain't the nigga that's gonna sit around and tell you to be grateful for what you got. If you want it, then go get it. Simple as that. It's a reason you don't accept the way you live. It's a reason you want the same love in return when you add up all the things you give. Don't let them play games with you. Guaranteed if the shoe was on the other foot, they wouldn't want to live the same with you. They don't have to walk outside at first light and have to see the same picture. You still waiting for a savior, huh? Listen to the same scripture. I ain't about to go insane with you. I ain't about to be the same nigga. Living with ya, being living with ya. Doing the same thing, expecting different results. Don't get it with ya. Fuck all that. Niggas got it twisted like they can't put a cap on. If I make that plate, I'ma eat it myself. Nigga, I ain't Jimmy Crackcorn. And I do care, the line's right there. Don't live in the realm of life ain't fair. Fuck the end of the tunnel, bitch, your light's right there. Take a chance one time, bitch, your dice right here. I'ma get your head scratches like lights in your hair. Why you sitting around waiting, nigga, life right here. Life right here. Living in a world full of make-believe. Nigga run around with a box. But I control my reality. Infinity sign on my clock. Just cause they don't understand me now. They tell me I'm a paradox. But later on in life they'll get it then. And then they'll be on my jock. They will. A lot of these niggas is fake as hell. I swear y'all remind me of props. Need to get rid of these lame fucks. Like when a pepper go pop. Most of you niggas should call yourself homeless. Cause y'all live in a box. My whole style orthodox. Dummies is a breed, not a flock. A lot of people say that they in it for the money, but the enemy is the ones that print it. So that mean you really not winning. Your power ain't taking this giving. You wake up every day, you ain't doing shit. What's the point of you really even living? Tell me. No, I ain't a preacher, I'm a realist. And nigga, I be going straight gorillas. Living in the system, tell me when we gon' break the chains. Finish shit off the chains. About to make me lose my brain. I'm just trying to hit a switch though. Start to problem out the picture like a nigga do an itch, yo. We need to get this shit together as a group like red and black do when a nigga play Connect 4. I'm just pushing through the threshold, trying to see how many niggas with me when I say let's go. But I don't depend on one person living, so I won't get offended when they say no. I ain't the nigga that's gonna give you that caseload. He ain't tell you what to do or what I say so. Y'all motherfuckers know what the fuck you living in, so y'all should be telling me let's go. Living in a world full of make-believe. Nigga run around with a box. But I control my reality. Infinity sign on my clock. Just cause they don't understand me now. They tell me I'm a paradox. But later on in life they'll get it then. And then they'll be on my jock. They will.
Struggling to find quality entertainment? Discover Blackwire TV, the ultimate streaming service. Enjoy over 11,000 live channels, more than 24,000 new and classic movies, and 7,000 plus series at your fingertips. Experience thrilling live sports and exclusive free PPV events, all designed for non-stop entertainment. Experience unmatched convenience now. With Blackwire TV, every moment becomes a cinematic adventure. Transform your viewing experience with dynamic, high-energy content that keeps you engaged 24/7. Join Blackwire TV today and always have something extraordinary to watch.
Hey! We in the building, man. Y'all already know what's going on, man. We're back here for another one. You know, y'all see what the title is tonight, man. Money speaks louder than words. Of course, I got my co-host with me, Tone. Tone, go and speak to him, man.
What's up there, Brian? You know, let's find out your Friday. What's going on with you, man? It's Friday, you know.
Financial Friday.
Yeah,
You ain't got no job. You ain't got
yeah. So you know how we started off, you know, peace and blessings and healing and prosperity.
Ain't no
Prosperity.
Sir.
To the community, to my family, you know. But yeah, man, it's Friday and it's one of those days for me because it's like a Monday for me in the barbershop. So it's busy, busy, busy. So I
Mhm.
make my time to get here, before I go to bed early like an old man. I know
Yeah,
y'all probably going out, to party and have some fun tonight
I'm
out.
chilling, man. I got the party at the crib. I
Yeah,
ain't
I
gonna
know
lie,
that's
man.
right. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure though, man. You say money speaks louder than words, huh?
Yeah.
Name of the show tonight. Man, when I think about that, I was thinking about the title, but I was also listening to Black Wire TV. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
man, I gotta find out about this Black Wire
Yeah.
TV, man.
Y'all gotta get that black wire. That black
Right.
wire for real. That yeah.
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 I just really was actually being transparent, telling you what I was thinking about when I was thinking about money speaks louder than words. And then some of y'all heard my story, some of y'all haven't, but from the 90s, so growing up in the 90s, we always was loud, flashy, had the chain on and we had it going on like that. And I thought that that's what it was, who got the biggest rims back then, the rims wasn't big as number 20s. So right now, I know y'all rolling on 30s and everything else, but
Yeah.
it was about the flash, it was about what we got going on. And, we thought that that was money.
Yeah.
And I didn't really recognize, that that wasn't money until I actually tried to change my life. And when I changed my life, it was like, man, my barber brother told me, man, you got to get a bank account. I'm like, a bank account? I just skipped straight to the financial part of the setup of it because we could gloat and glorify those days, but it really didn't amount to too much of nothing if I'm about to tell you where I'm at now. And where I'm
Mm.
at now, my barber buddy, he was like, man, you got to get a bank account. I'm like, a bank account? I don't need no bank account, man. The bank account is in my pocket or under my mattress or the shoebox.
Yeah.
So he like, no, for real, man. You want to get your business right as a barber, you got to get a bank account. All I really knew about bank accounts, I'm gonna be honest, man. I was red flagged in the bank account. We was running check fraud, before the youngsters got on to the cash and checks and all of that. But anyway, not to even glorify that because it was still unconscious and I didn't know what was going on, and I ended up being red flagged. So I didn't know what red flag was. I just knew that I couldn't get in the banks. So I
Mm.
actually went to Chase, being red flagged, and they had a program to where they just wanted to take people that was hard to bank, like a
Mm.
person like me, which was red flag. Never had a bank account. Last time I had a bank account, they see over $17,000 in deficits.
Mm.
We fraud, and so with that being said, I opened up a bank account and I didn't know nothing about no check, credit. I didn't know nothing about that. When I finally put my credit score, it was like a 505.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on because I didn't
Wow.
need no credit. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I didn't need no credit, man. I was at the bottom of it. I think I was at wherever you start at. So we didn't need credit then. We thought that credit was what, bro, I'm gonna give you this and you pay me back. That's credit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then, I
Oh
started,
me.
right, you owe me, bro.
Oh me. Nigga.
Yeah. So when I actually started putting my money in the bank and Chase started to help me. Chase actually, they the one directed me and told me what to do, told me, hey, well, why don't you open up a business bank account as well? And I'm
Mhm.
like, a business bank account? Why? I'm a barber, not knowing that I'm an independent contractor and I'm a business itself.
Mm.
So I opened up a business bank account. How did I do that? I got my EIN, I got my article of organization. I took my operating agreement, which basically saying who I am and who part of the ownership of the company. And I took that to Chase. And when I took that to Chase and opened up the account, by this time, probably was a year later, by this time, they gave me a business credit card. So prior to that, once I found out my credit score was like a 505, I got a secured credit card. I still got that same secured credit card to this day because they say never get rid of your oldest credit card. So
Mm.
that's my oldest credit card. It's a secured credit card. It was number like $600 when I first got it. I had to pay 400 for 600. I mean, you laugh because you know where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I will hope, but I had
Yeah.
to pay $400 for $600 worth of secure credit with a premier secured bank card. But believe it or not, like I said, I still have that same bank card, and it cost me $6.95 a month to hold it. But it's my oldest bank card. I've had it for like 9 years. And what they do when they look at your credit, they want to see that you had established credit for a longer period of time.
Yeah.
So that was one of my first credit cards. And then once I learned about a little bit about credit, I turned on Credit Karma. So I tell everybody, man, just pull up Credit Karma, put your information in there, and see what they offer you. So I did that. So when they offered me outstanding, excellent, I'm like, oh, why all of these cards saying I can have them? You know, so as I'm reading, I'm basically reading, and it's saying that you can pull all of these cards at the same time with minimal, with minimal inquiries.
Right.
So I pulled 3 cards at one time, and I got them all basically on one inquiry. And why is that significant is because you don't want a lot of inquiries on your credit, because it makes the other creditors make it seem as if you thirsty, you searches for money. But a lot of people get those inquiries on their credit because they go for these car loans and they just dump all of these inquiries because they pull from all these different banks.
Right.
We can get into how to get the inquiries off on another time, but back to the story is now.
No, I think you don't want to get into that now.
Well, the inquiries is just a dispute letter with Experian. You have Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Why I didn't want to get directly into that, because that's dealing with the credit score, and we can kind of bounce back around to that on how you build your credit. So that's what I was kind of going into, because
I see what you're saying.
I'm just figuring it out, filling it out for both of us, because now if you look at the sequence on what I'm saying is I got the secured credit card first.
Yeah.
When I got the secured credit card, I went on Credit Karma. When I went on Credit Karma offered me these 3 credit cards. And when I got the 3 credit cards, that's when I learned about the credit bureaus, which was TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. When I learned about the credit bureaus, now I'm learning about how they report whatever you wouldn't pull these car loans or whatever the case may be, but it might only report to Experian, or it might only report to Equifax, or it might only report to TransUnion.
Right.
So that's why I would tell people today, close or freeze your credit profile today. So that's the first start of building your credit, is to close and freeze your credit profile, pull your credit report, and see what's on there for your own self. Don't be scared to pull the report. So anyway, I pulled my report. I had a few things on there. I think at most it probably was $1,300. It wasn't much, but I had to actually pay that off. But I learned that you don't have to pay them all the way off. You can call the creditor and you can ask them for a discounted price, sometimes up to 50%, and they'll let you take that off your credit. So when I did that, and then I started to get these other credit cards, and now to go into the inquiry part of it, the inquiries on Experian, typically you can call Experian and when you dispute something, you disputing it with a statement. You're not disputing it with a question. You're not saying, hey, is this inquiry mine or no? You're mostly disputing it with the statement, and you'll follow it up because it's a federal code that goes with that. I don't have that pulled up. That basically it's against the law for them to give your information out like that. So I wasn't expecting to talk about inquiries, so I don't have that documents and stuff pulled up. But you write a letter, that's the second way you do it. You write a letter, and the same letter is a duplicate. I do have the form that we can post up, or I can even give it to you, Brian, and then that form is also your dispute letters, and you just send that into the credit bureaus. And 2 dispute letters, they typically take the inquiries off. And why that is illegal is because when you want to get that credit card from Dodge said that they was going to give you a loan. Well, why didn't Dodge Finance Company pull your credit? No, they pull your credit from this bank, that bank, this bank, and that put those inquiries on it because they shopping your credit report around, and that makes your credit bad. So you didn't do it. You didn't ask for it. It's illegal to them, not to you. So it's okay for you to ask to get those inquiries off. But while you're trying to get those inquiries off, you're building credit by getting those credit cards that say excellent, say, they saying a good and outstanding, So now, even just to flip that, I got an 800 credit score. But with that being said, a credit score is nothing, man. So I learned that my credit score was based off of people in my demographic. We ain't got to spell that out. So it says you're higher in these many points according to the people in your demographic. And I'm like, damn, that's kind of a outright statement. It's letting me know that it's gauging it off of the my community. So then once I looked at it like that, I'm like, it's something that we got to do to make it better, because my credit score is not all what it is. So when I hear about these no doc loans and these these loans that you can get that don't have no documents required far as for your business or your personal, they typically are at a high interest rate. They typically predatory lenders, that's basically gouging you. They're gonna make you pay this price right back in 6 to 9 months. So no docs can work great for your business to start up. So they're using no doc loans off of hearsay, as far as word of mouth. What you said you make, typically you shouldn't make over 100,000. So if you're telling people you make over 100,000, they immediately can ask or require documents then. So sometimes telling the truth, really figuring out what you making, what you're reporting can help, because when you figure out what you're making and what you're reporting, now that in turns give you loans. So that gives you loans and lines of credit on your business. We're not talking about on your personal, because you take your personal and you grow that, but you also grow your business alongside it. It's kind of like a two-step process. But yeah, man, I just wanted to let the audience know and let you know that when it comes to this credit, we got a formula that actually works. So once again, just by example with me, I tried to go with the no doc loan way. I got 3 business credit cards. So the no doc way does work, but when I wanted to go after bigger things, bigger opportunities, investing in real estate, building out my own type of idea within the barbering, that's 100,000, that's 130,000. So when I went after those loans, they telling me I can get it, but so that would make me pause. And the but is that they want these tax statements. So just like most of us, when we claiming what we claiming versus getting money back, when we working as independent contractors, we have to pay into our taxes. So when we pay into our taxes, we typically not claiming the right amount because we don't want to pay all of that into our taxes. So that's not illegal, but that's illicit. It's not reporting everything. And if we do get into a situation and audit us, then they have to pay it anyway. So before I got into all of that type of trouble, I just started to learn now, like, man, let me just go ahead and pay the right amount on my taxes. So now after 2 years, they're offering me loans. I just want to take a loan that's going to be substantial enough to where I can build out something that I think that is going to be workable for my community. I'm a barber. I'm your barber. So that's how I want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do want to do it small. I want a Harley. You know that. See, let's just keep it transparent. So I could go pull a loan for that, but why grind? Why? Go after the bigger bag. Go after the things that really is gonna work for me, and let that pay off. The bike. Do X, Y, Z. But yeah, man, this is to me. I love talking about finances. I love talking about let's get money. And this is a strong point to where when we actually start to build our community, we want to build our credit right. We want to take our money and we want to invest in some land. We want to invest into some real estate. We can do that as a community. But basically, I'm talking about me and you.
Yeah,
man. Money speaks louder than words.
Definitely. It definitely does. That's why they got shit say let your money talk for you. You know what I'm saying?
Let your money talk for you. Yep.
So
yeah, man.
And that's another thing I want to say with that, money speaks action. You know what I mean? It shows that you got the initiative to go up and use your energy and create more energy. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Everybody do that. But
because when you say that though, just to kind of go into when you had said that, your morning routine could kind of wake up in the morning and you speaking good positive affirmation to yourself. I am abundant. I am wealthy. Don't beg for it. Just wake up and resonate with it. I mean, honestly, I can tell you before I come to this point in my life, man, I wasn't waking up trying to say no affirmations. It was hard to wake up and think about anything else but let me get some money and let me pay my bills.
I feel you on that because I be waking up. I don't want to talk. Shit, I'll be like, man, I don't even want to talk right now. Just let me get my shit together first. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so proof is in the pudding, man. I mean, I will call you at 7 o'clock in the AM, 6 a.m. with the same energy, but it took a lot of practice, man.
Yeah.
Took a lot of practice. So I'm not saying like with me and you, it could take one day. You don't have to take your whole paycheck. I'm not speaking to you. I'm speaking in general now because it's me too. You don't have to take your whole paycheck to so-called put an investment together. But if you ain't got 3 to 6 months of emergency funds, then that's where you need to start at. Most people don't have $1,000 in their bank account that they can spend immediately on emergency without having some form of a problem. And what I mean by emergency, yeah, what I mean by emergency is a flat tire with a busted rim.
Mm-hmm.
We all got rims, and I'm talking about regular rims. Those on the factory cost about $1,000. So let's just start there because when we going out to eat, we going shopping, we doing XYZ, we need an emergency fund set up for us.
Yeah. He
So after you got,
calling people out tonight.
no, I'm not, man. I ain't calling nobody. I'm just telling the truth, bro. I'm just telling the truth,
Be
and for me,
smarter.
huh?
I said, you said be smarter.
Yeah, and for me, I'm not gonna say nothing that I haven't already implemented in my life. However, it's hard. And then not only that, you could be like, Tone, but you 50. Yeah, it took a lot of time for me to figure this out. So if you figure it out at your age, which is still a mighty age, you figuring it out at 30, man. By the time you 50, you got it squared away. Because not to kind of immediately go right into that, but dealing with the presidency and dealing with things that we have now, like these tariffs, and people don't really understand what's going on. They kind of just going off the rhetoric of what they hear, which is fine too. But with the tariffs and what's going on in America, is almost structuring us to make us count on ourselves. It make us count on America. So what's wrong with that? You're American. We ain't been nowhere else. We don't know that. We can't go back to Africa. I've been there. They don't want us. So, with that being said, the tariffs are put out on countries that have put tariffs on America.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I think they done the tariffs back in like the 1900s. I forgot the exact first time that the tariffs had happened, but they did it to boost the economy of America. So it makes people buy America. Now, if you're buying all your weave or you're buying all whatever your fake Gucci or whatever from China, and that's gonna be a more tax. It's gonna be more tax on that type of stuff. So, but the thing is with the tariffs is to buy within America. Now, with us in America's how we do shop, it might cost us an extra $3,800 a year with the way they done set out tariffs. So it might cost Americans an extra $3,800 a year. So since we know that the presidency is setting out like that to kind of break the consumer, because it's set out for the business. America is a business, first and foremost. So if you own a business, you creating your own LLC, you're gonna benefit from the tax breaks. However, as a consumer, now we looking to pay more for these different goods. How do we prepare for that? Prepare for it not. Hey man, I felt so bad. I was talking to somebody about the tax check. And I don't know if it was you, but somebody was like, man, they tax check been gone. I said, what?
That wasn't me.
No, I know because you pay into your taxes, but But what I mean is that, bro, I didn't know that people have filed their taxes, got the money back, and spent it already.
Yeah, they do that all the time, every year.
Okay, but the thing about that is this. This is why they do that. And I understand because I never got taxes back. This was my first job as a barber. However, this is the smart thing because this is what I've seen with my own eyes in our community. When we get our tax check, we do buy stuff that we need. That's the
Yeah.
crazy part about it. For that whole year, we probably have been missing off debts, not paying the right thing.
Do we really need it is the question. Do we really need it?
Well, sometimes we need that furniture, man. You know, sometimes I mean, what I mean by need
you need furniture every year.
no, but your family can grow. You know, I'm just being realistic on the fact that the people are the ones that's actually still spending the money because they got the money.
Do you need furniture every year?
No, but if they don't need furniture every year, now they could take $2,000 of that money and pay off some debt. See, that's why I'm going with it. I'm with you with that. Right.
Exactly.
So after they done bought furniture 3 years in a row.
Listen, you know what I do for a living. I do
Right. So after they done bought furniture for 3 years in a row, grind.
let me tell you some shit, right?
Right.
That I'm gonna keep this anonymous because I don't know these people. They don't know me.
Right.
But I literally hung a 98-inch TV. No, 98-inch TV up.
Wow.
In a trailer.
What?
They wanted a 98-inch TV and they lived in a trailer.
How do you put a 98-inch TV? Now, some trailers, man, the trailer got to be big.
It was a nice size trailer, you know what I'm saying? But
wow, where your priorities at?
Where they at? You know what I'm saying? Where they at? This is no lie. I can pull up the picture right now.
Wow.
And it's like, so I hung the TV up, and I'm good at my job, so I still made it look good. But the wall was coming up like this. You feel me?
Right.
Like it was rising from diagonal up. You know what I mean? So like, yeah.
So that's how the TV had to be mounted. So
basically, I put that corner right next to the slant, kind of in a way. Like, so it was like a shelf over here. Like it's a nice set, but I'm like, you live in a fucking trailer.
Right. Yeah, man. It's our mindset. You know, it's that we want things right away, and the things we want, they basically willing to burn. They don't last. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a consumer. It's how we get the things. You can't work hard enough to become wealthy. You won't work yourself to become rich. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can't work hard enough to become rich. You know, so you can work all of the hours. So what happens is that people be in work a $30,000-$40,000 a year job, but spend $50,000.
Yeah.
How you do that?
Yeah.
You got a $2 raise. You now you making $40,000, but you spending $48,000 in a year.
Yeah.
So man, that's the problem.
All your extra funds, and that's all all your extra funds is gone. You done made some money on the side. You ain't even know you made. You done spent. It's gone.
So that's what I mean by if we watch our finances. There's nothing wrong with spending the money, but know what you spend. You ask one of our counterparts, man, hey, what you got in your bank account? Man, they so offended.
It's so, man, let me tell you, man, it goes all the way down to the street. Everybody, even in the streets, you know, you spend your money to make more money, meaning you use your money to generate more money.
Right.
Simple. Right. Simple rules. If you're not putting your money into something that's generating more money, you wasting your time. Every day you go to work, you know you're tired. You feel like shit. You don't want to get up in the morning. You tired of this shit.
Man.
Because you are choosing to take that money and keep bullshitting it off to them bills or whatever, or them clothes, or you know you could have waited, or that DoorDash, you just can't go get your ass up and pay a cheaper price, or whatever the fuck the case may be. It's your fault.
That's true, man. That's true.
Yep.
That's true. That's true. You know, but we see it. It's a financial trauma. So we've been hit with all sorts of trauma. So I hear you saying it, but at the same token, you know, although I'm not being victimized by the same ideas, I was. I used to walk to Burger King every day. You know, I was the same type. I didn't understand. I used to go get the chicken strips, you know what I'm saying, off the corner from the gas station every day.
Yeah.
You know, so with that being said, once I made it, although I know I wanted to make the money, I wouldn't spend it.
Yeah.
You know, so with that being said, it took one day, man. All it takes is let me make $100. Let me put $20 to the side.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I made $150. Let me put $30 to the side.
Yeah.
Little bit of money adds up,
Yeah.
compound interest.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
You'll be surprised what it become in like 6 months. It'd be like 6 months. You just say, I'm just being loyal to this for 6 months. You'll be like, wow.
exactly.
I've been doing this I've been fucking this off the whole time, and I ain't, you know what I'm saying? And you got to think about everything you do, just, frivolously. You just go to the gas station, or you go to the store, you be like, oh, I need to buy a t-shirt or something, some bullshit, all
Right.
that shit you probably didn't spend in a week about $5. You'd be like,
Right.
God.
So let me give you a good example of what they could do. So
Yeah,
because I pay myself with paychecks. So
yeah,
my business pays me with paychecks. So what
right,
I do with my paychecks that I pay myself, I take $200 of that and I invest it in my account.
yeah,
See what I'm saying? In my investment account.
mm-hmm,
But I'm also still paying myself. So I pay myself
mm-hmm,
the amount of money and then I take that money and invest it.
right,
Although I'm paying myself, when people get direct deposit, they can also pay themselves.
yeah,
Although they getting it from their job, take that money, you invest it, you put that money in a 401k, get the
exactly,
lease back. Get the lease. People want to take the least out of their check or
yeah.
whatever, however that works, so
They
they
don't
can
want no, nobody want to do that.
huh?
Don't nobody want to do that.
So explain what I'm saying there, Grant, because
Them joints just came out. They ain't trying to do that.
so
They ain't trying to do that. What you talking about?
yeah, man, but you gotta, if you did that for, like you said, 6 months,
Yeah,
then you take that money and roll it over into an investment account. So what I mean by an investment account, if you're getting direct deposit, you put that direct deposit into your bank, but you put that into a 2-month CD that's
yeah,
right in your bank. You go
yeah,
right into your bank and you ask them about a 2-month CD. So a
yeah,
2-month CD, I think, is like 3 or 4%. 3 or 4%, that ain't nothing. But when you put your money direct deposit in the bank, it's 0.01%.
mm-hmm,
So if you put we just go say if you put 10 grand in there, it ain't nothing but $100, $89 or whatever the case may be.
right,
But
right,
at the same token, you're not losing because you're still spending how much gas we buy, how much that could be your
exactly,
DoorDash money right there.
exactly.
So if you're getting direct deposit, put your direct deposit into an interest bearing account, like a high yield savings account,
Mm-hmm,
right from your bank. You can put that direct deposit. And why I say that is because if you take the money away from your account right away, it's almost like you never had it.
right,
So that's kind of how it was, with in the street. You say in the street, or how we learned from the ground up is that, you reinvest your money. I knew poor hustlers, bro. So with
yeah,
that being said, they,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
these niggas,
yeah,
they making the money and they spending the profit to re-up and everything else.
yeah. That's
So,
true.
so with that being said, we have to really change our mindset and stop, bro. Let me tell you this. I'm
Quick,
50 years.
I was gonna say something. Go ahead, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say quick word of advice for people. Uh, if you can't buy it 5 times, you can't afford it.
That's true. That's true. That's what they say. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I'm gonna add to that and say the 5-time rule or the 2-time rule is that don't work all week for one liability.
right.
Don't work all week just to go buy what I'm saying, or whatever it is. I ain't gonna call out the people that buy the George. I ain't gonna call out the people that buy the XYZ, the weave
Yeah,
or whatever. But don't work all week just for one item.
yeah,
Start to put some of that stuff together, some of that money up. That way you can start to see some long term. And what I was gonna say is that, man, I didn't know when I was 21, I didn't know I was gonna make it to 30. And I didn't make it to 30 on the street. I was in prison by the time I was 28.
mm-hmm,
But with that being said, I'm so far along now. What I mean by that is that the years are gonna just keep going. We think in our community we gotta have it tomorrow.
yeah,
You know, we gotta have it by, oh man, what y'all doing when such and such concert come? That's cool. But if you're gonna pay for the money to go to the concert, then also have that money set aside, that emergency fund.
yeah,
Because at this point, with most of us, we need to start with an emergency fund tomorrow because today was Friday and that's payday. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, what's gonna happen 1 year down the line, 2 years down the line? We still living. So that's what happened to me. I'm like, oh man, these years are still rolling by. So if I don't catch on right now, I'm not gonna have nothing. You know.
That's okay.
So
But I wanted to say something though too, because you had got into tariffs. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to break that down for people who don't even know what a tariff is. You know,
right.
Tariff is a tax that's imposed by a government. You know what I'm saying? So basically, what tariffs are is the tax on imported goods, people. So if you a business that imports good, use all imported goods, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna take a big hit. You know what I mean? And basically, when you got stuff like this going on, you need to buy locally. You need to be in your community. You need to be at your farmers markets and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And get stuff that's inside of the dome that we in. You know what I mean? And
Hey man, hey look, Trump put a tariff on the island that was all penguins.
That's crazy work.
Hey, true story.
That's crazy work.
Listen, but that just go to show you how we looking so far out in front of us with what they telling us.
Yeah.
Now we spooked by this, we spooked by that, but if we get ourselves together within our own community, we ain't gotta worry about this type of stuff. Hey man, they say the Australian islands, the governor, the president of the islands, he couldn't believe that he put tariffs on an island full of penguins.
Yeah.
Don't know humans live there.
But you gotta think though, like, so because Trump he put a tariff on all countries. So it's not just independent ones he picked out. You know what I'm saying? And for countries that like individual countries, he got a rate that's high as 50%, but every country in general is 10%.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow. They say the tariffs fuel the economy, but we have to see what that looks like in 2 to 4 years, because right now Trump is only going to be in office for 3.5 more years. So I mean, how is this going to look in the future? And once again, we got to kind of focus on the future. With the market, I think the stock market lost 4% today. So starting Monday, if we actually start to look at, hey man, let me call Charles Schwab and let me see if I can get in the spot. The SPY. The SPY has gained 10% every year for the last 20 years.
Right.
So the economy is about to be bleak. We about to go into a recession. Houses has been at an all-time high, and the housing market is looking to crash.
How we ain't already in a recession?
Well, we are already in a recession, but they calling about a number. So today, I think when they produce, the job market have more jobs gained than it has gained on the past, I think, year or whatever the case may be. So the job market is an indicator that we're not in a recession. Inflation is an indicator that we are in a recession. So it depends on how you look at it. Are you looking at it according to inflation? So they playing with the numbers, man.
So man, Mike got no motherfucking job.
Man, they playing with the numbers, man.
Let me tell you some real shit, man.
You say nobody got no job.
Listen, bro. And I don't know where the fuck they getting this money from, bro. I need to know the secret, because I swear, when I'm outside, I drive all day.
Right.
It is so many fucking cars. Where is y'all going? Y'all ain't got no 9 to 5 or nothing. You feel me? And it's crazy because everywhere I go, it's always say hiring. Y'all ain't hiring nobody yet. Ain't nobody walked in here and said, I need a job, filled out a job application or nothing. Or you just saying everybody's non-hireable. Ain't nobody working, man. That's why they keep trying to do these motherfucking robots. We just did the segment. We was talking about how they was trying to give everybody an income monthly.
That's true. That's true.
This shit is spooky, man.
Right. It is real crazy too, because you brought back to mind when I just was reading, it said in 2020 it has been the less year after year job, it has been less people coming back to work year after year
Yeah.
after 2020. But they said the flip side of that, it's been a lot of entrepreneurs taking off too. So
Yeah.
that means that a lot of us has been opening up small businesses.
But
So
the shit, but just think about it. This shit bullshit.
yeah,
Because
they
you gotta
play. They
like
selling plates.
how many people out here selling t-shirts? How many people out here selling body creams? How many, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is that
Hey,
doing for
hey,
us?
grind. They selling plates, man.
They selling plates. Hey, and you ain't telling no lie. I swear to God. Motherfuckers is on DoorDash. You can look up some
Now,
food and somebody's selling it out their house, man. For real,
hey,
for real.
but look,
I'm dead ass serious.
look. Now they need to get a business name, put it in the
Exactly.
LLC, and get
Yeah,
it EIN. You know,
man. You
but that
can't
is crazy, man. You can
man,
buy.
you can't make this shit. Hey, look though. Hey, and it's crazy because the motherfucker go outside and DoorDash all day and
Right,
won't
right.
go get a real job that's gonna be substantial. It's crazy.
Well. Also to add to that, the real job. What I would say a real job is a tech job or a job that requires some form of an education, not necessarily
Yeah, I understand that. A trade.
a
You know what I'm saying?
trade.
I'm
Exactly.
talking about a trade. When I said that, I meant a trade. So
Right. Exactly.
something that can become a career. You know what I mean? So,
So
man,
audience, when he say go get a job, he ain't
yeah,
saying just go get another job.
yeah. And then they wonder why they get dropped and shit. You know what I'm saying? Or like they just, oh, I was just about to retire. I can't retire now. And shit, you gave them everything.
Right.
Y'all really think y'all gonna make it off that 401k when it's all over with, huh?
No, because they already chopping it because you know the stock market is constantly slipping and the amount of money that you get in your 401k, if you took part of that and invested into your own,
Yeah, exactly. You
brokerage
know,
account
people y'all know y'all can pull from y'all 401k.
and invested.
You literally can invest in yourself
Exactly.
with your money that you've been accumulating. And y'all be like, well, I'm gonna wait for retirement. And then when retirement comes, it's not enough. That's what
Yeah.
we talking about.
Yeah.
That's what we talking about.
Yeah.
Me and you had that talk in the barbershop when I was like, how much you think you need to have when it's all over with?
Oh yeah, we did. We
Yeah.
did. And
And
then
I
and
asked
then my number was so low. My number was from like 10 years prior to that.
you, yeah,
I think the real number was like 3 million.
0.1 million.
Yeah.
You need that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
man, and it's funny you say that because you look at it and you say 2.1 million, you're like, huh?
Yeah,
Not knowing how much money that our community spends a year, man. We
yeah,
spend so much money a year.
yeah,
So that's one thing that kind of amazing to me. That's why I will always, go back again and tell the audience, and tell myself, man, keep track of your money.
mm-hmm.
Don't lie about your money to yourself. You know what you got. You know what you're spending your money on. Rehash it, reevaluate the money. I mean,
Yeah,
when I was thinking about the show earlier, I thought about Jay-Z when he said, "No chrome on the reels. I'm a grown up for real." So when I look at Jay-Z, that's one of my top five. He went from rocking the BBSs with the Benzo, the BMWs, and the nice chains. So I look at him, and I see how he's changed. He's going to his own brand, no matter what that is. We rocking brands. It can be your own, it could be your buddy's brand, but he
yeah,
also has toned down the jury. You know what I'm saying? So and he also then made many investments. You know what I'm saying? So what he had title Rock Nation, Ace of Spades, Art Real Estate. So we got people in our own community that flipped it. Master P, 21 Savage. You
yeah,
know, when I looked at 21 Savage, I'm like, man, this Joker, But then when I
yeah,
actually started to listen to his music, and figure him out, he said on one interview he was talking about I think he put that Rome that whatever that was.
yeah.
Is that 21 Savage?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, he said he put out some garbage, right? Because I don't, I don't know the titles and all of that. But he said he put out some music, and he thought that it was garbage, and he just kind of put it out there. But the response that he got from the public, he let him know that he have to constantly stay on the watch for putting too much information out there because he got to dumb his music down.
Mm.
So when I read that, I'm like, dang, he got to dumb his music down just to make it sell.
Yeah, a lot of people be more smart than you expect, especially behind the mic. Like you got to think about people like like 2 Chainz.
Right.
He threw himself down. You know what I'm saying? Like brilliant man, you know what I'm saying? I know Sexy Red smarter than what she put out.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because you got to know what energy you feeding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how you generate from the music. You know what I'm saying? But I can't dumb myself down. That's not me.
No, I don't think that you should.
Yeah, if
Whatever
for
for
me
you
to
gonna
get
come to you.
exactly. So I'm just it's just some people do go a different route to get the bag. So you gotta be careful with that too.
Yeah. I mean, because we talk about that in the barbershop, man. We talk about what would you do, for XYZ amount of money. I don't like those what would you do conversations because they
Mm,
just too hypothetical. But
yeah,
with the state of the way we think, we really think that we can work hard enough to be secure. You can't work hard enough to be secure. We see that,
mm,
and like you had said earlier, you was like, man, they don't want no jobs. Why do you think the robots coming in? And that just took me by, it made me stand still in my mind because that is so true. And I deal a lot with the AI type of, understanding. And that's true. They don't go to sleep. The
mm.
robots ain't gonna go to sleep. They not gonna, they're not gonna, complain. They're not gonna do none of that. So when we not, trying
They
to
don't
take
need
advantage,
8-hour shifts, man.
man, man, they can just keep going. So to rearrange that, man, we gotta really educate ourselves, become the builders of the robots, or succumb to, like you said, UBI, succumb to universal basic income, become a slave
Mm.
or a slave to the system.
We already slave.
That's true.
That's
That's true.
it'd be crazy because like every time you say something, you got to remember like, hey, it's already like this. It is not a conspiracy. This shit is already fucked up.
Yeah.
So if you keep bending over, they're gonna get you.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah.
But
So Grant, go ahead.
you got something for me? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you. I said you got your own business, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you got your own business, your own LLC and everything.
yeah,
Yeah. So I just was, putting in foundation on what we saying is real, man.
yeah.
And we can have a community based understanding to where small pockets of us will start to rebrand and rebuild our own community.
Right.
So
Oh
so
yeah, I got a fun fact for the people, right? Because we was just looking up this shit. All right. So let me bring this up.
oh yeah.
Look. It said the largest landowners in the United States in 2025,
Mm,
the Emerson family.
man.
I ain't never heard of them till today.
Man, you're right. I got to find out who is the Emerson family.
Look at these numbers, y'all.
Man,
It's a man named John Malone, John Malone, and he's not a family. He right up under them. You know what I'm saying? Ted Turner, Stan, whatever his name, Kroenke. Like these are people. These are people that walk past you every day. You be thinking they just like you.
right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They don't look like all blinged out and nothing. Look, they got the Buck family. It's the whole list right here. The Irvin family, the Reed family. I want to see something though. Now I'm curious.
Mm. Well, they're the country's nation's producers of lumber, millwork, and renewable energy. The Emerson family. They own 2.4 million acres of timberland across California, Oregon, and Washington.
Mm. So it's 2.26 billion acres in America.
Mm.
Look what they own.
Wow.
Look what they own.
Mm. So they got the Native American tribes, 56 million.
What's that? Damn near 10%. Emerson family owned damn near 10% of the country.
Right.
Damn.
Right. The Reed family, the Herman family. And we should some of these families had to start right around with the 13 colonies, you know.
Yeah.
So
And these are the type of, you know how they be showing like all these movies and families battling and stuff like that. They get the family name, they are the whole family full of gangsters and all that. They got, you know, henchmen and all that. This is it right here. This is it. These are the wars, the secret wars right here.
right.
This
So
will be
how much land is in America, period, then? How much is the total land?
that's what I just said. I went to right there. 2.2
Total land? Oh, 2.6. Okay, 2 billion. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
acres. Yep.
Wow, 2 billion acres of land.
Yeah.
Like you say, they own what, 10% of the
Basically 10% of the damn country. Oh, over 10%, actually.
Right. Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is. That is.
And then you got somebody right there by himself, John Malone himself.
Right.
You
Right.
feel me? Come on.
So yeah, y'all, we your home is not an asset, it's a liability.
Yeah.
That's why they got your home listed as your home, and they got the property invested listed as an investment property. So to have a better resource of income, you definitely want to get you an investment property. But until you can get you an investment property, it's good to have some land, and these land patents are for sale. I don't have a land patent yet. I don't own land yet myself. However, my young partner, he's teaching me how to go acquire these land patents. So I'm looking to do that next instead of buying, you know, a whole house. Why? Because the land, these little parcels are a lot cheaper. So you can buy some land, 10 grand, 8 grand, 20 grand. So owning the land is right where we need to start at. That's the smaller version of owning your first, you know, property.
No, that's a fact.
Yeah.
But you know, just owning land ain't enough though. You know what I mean? Because you never really own nothing. I be trying to break that down to people, and they be like, "What?" Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
hey, you know, that's a whole that's a real one because it really goes down to the true ownership, the true what's that paper, because they're gonna go off that paper. Who
Yeah,
owns the original deed? How is these deeds being worked out? Who owns the original title? You know,
I'm gonna tell.
because your
I'm gonna tell
home
people.
that more.
Go ahead. I'm
Go ahead.
sorry.
No. Go ahead. We saying the same thing.
I was gonna tell people some real shit for real, for real. Like, it's important to get to know who you are, who your ancestors and stuff are. It ain't gonna be from no genealogy report, no DNA scam what they be doing, all them running to get taking your blood probably so they can clone you somewhere or something. But go get those real death certificates, uh birth certificates, all that type of stuff that you can find at City Hall. You might be surprised what you find that you own in your family. And because you are the one that went out there and did it, you are the one that's going to be able to claim it, and can't nobody take it from you, not even your family member.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you never know what you can find that's in your family history that you own under
Right.
your family name.
Right.
Real,
Right.
real.
You know, just to add on to that, my client was telling me how his sister, they older anyway, his sister probably about 68, was telling me how she went back and paid so much money to find out her family records, not through that ancestral.com, but actually going to talk to grandparents, going to the cities where they at, you know,
Exactly.
pulling death records and stuff like that. She made it all the way back to, I think, Washington, D.C., and it's into the archives and found out where her actually family was traded from. So they found out that they truly was part of the slave trade, unlike most of us. Most of us are not part of the slave trade. Most of
Facts.
us are aboriginally to this land, and we got caught up when the slave trade was reiterated back
We got
into the
we
north.
gotta we gotta watch that we gotta watch that word aboriginal.
Oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Hey,
no,
look,
I'm sorry, not aboriginal, I'm sorry, indigenous.
Don't
Yeah,
worry. I
yeah.
already know. That's why I said I'm original. Hey,
I
look.
had to correct myself for the people.
Hey, hey. That's why I didn't say much. I'm
Yeah,
listening to you. Because
yeah,
all it takes is one time for me to understand one thing. You know what I'm saying? Once I understand it and I take into consideration what it means, it
yeah,
says we do three things with the truth. We either accept the truth as the truth because we already knew it. You say the truth, let me ponder on that to see if it is the truth, or we
yeah.
outright deny it. Most of us outright deny the truth and it keeps us blocked.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's the psychosis. That's the problem. You know what I
yeah.
mean? This is why people are not accountable. You know, this is why people are liars and manipulate
Mm,
stuff like
mm.
that because it's what like they call it habitual. It's so habitual when you commit these acts so many times. This is the person that you program yourself to be. So you gotta watch what you do a lot.
Right, excuse me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, go ahead.
no. I just was gonna add to that, man, because it's like a we spoke about it the other day, quantum jumping, timeline jumping. You know, when you think about it and you talk about investing in yourself, cleaning up your credit and doing all of these things, you actually are becoming a different person. It's gonna take so much willpower,
Yeah,
just the act of alone of starting to recreate yourself. You're gonna become a new person.
yeah,
So a lot of people are not prepared to become who they should be because of the actual idea of like, dang, what is this person gonna judge me on? How they gonna look at me? What they gonna feel about me? So I kind of went through the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I went through the self-hate, the self-judgment, like, dang, now I gotta become a barber. I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that. You know, so we gotta look at that as well. We gotta kind of be willing to change the idea of who we thought we were. You know,
yeah, right.
some people go to a whole new city. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move to this city. I'm gonna move to that city. Well, that's fine. Just don't take yourself with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, they say a hoe moved to a new place so she get so nobody knows she a hoe.
Hey, hey, then she become a great wife,
Yeah, be like that sometimes.
right? You know.
So yeah, man, y'all gotta watch yourself, man, out here, cause this hey, you can fall in that trick bag real smooth,
Yeah,
real
yeah.
smooth. But we had some other stuff to talk about, man. I forgot what you had said to me. I forgot. You said
Posterity
yeah,
versus poverty. You know.
yeah,
Hey, I ain't
poverty versus
forgot.
yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. Go ahead, speak on that. What you said again, so the people hear.
Posterity.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look up the word posterity, posterity is your bloodline and the people that follow after you.
Yeah,
You know, so when we say we want prosperity, why? Why do we want prosperity? Why do we want money? Why do we want riches? Why do we want? Typically, we want it for ourselves, but once you didn't got enough for yourself, then you want it for your family and for your legacy. You
yeah.
know, so
I love,
that's
I love the hood table, man. The hood table. I'm sorry. The hood table. She always come through, man, and show love, man. Every time, man.
yeah, yeah.
Every time.
Shout out to the hood table. What's up, hood table?
Yeah, hood tables stay coming through, man. I gotta make them a moderator. And shout out to hood tables. They content creators as well. You go over there and check out that page, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, man. So yeah, that's what we was talking about posterity, you know. So that's all just taking care of your family, you know, because Proverbs 13:22 it says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children.
hmm,
Flat out, you know. So it says his children's children. So it's telling us to think further. Don't think about the weekend. The weekend coming. We done had several weekends already, you know.
yeah,
So that's all, you know. Just think a little bit differently, you know, and change the way we do our routine, change our morning routine. You
hmm,
know, like I said earlier, some of us can get up and we have certain affirmations that we say, you know,
yeah.
listen to Jim Rome. I like Jim Rome. He got a funny voice, you know. And then, you know, I like Les Brown, you
Yeah.
know. You ever heard of Jim Rome, man?
No, I ain't hip to him.
Oh man, that white guy with blonde hair, man, gray
Yeah,
hair, man. He's a funny looking character, but he said a lot of good positive stuff, you know. So a lot of you know, Christians in the community or whatever the case may be, Proverbs, Ecclesiastics, they got good information, you know, good information just to get the mindset, get us out this poverty mindset, get us into the mindset to where we can have wealth. You know, we don't necessarily want the riches. The riches gonna come with the wealth. The wealth is gonna pay for the riches. The wealth is gonna pay for the Gucci bag, the Louis bag. You know what I'm saying? Even if half of these Louis bags and Gucci bags ain't real anyway, but if you
Yeah.
spend, you know, 3-4K on these Gucci bags or whatever the case may be, and what's in them? You know, I'm just talking stuff.
They chewing gum, a pen,
You
a
know, I just
pack,
want to get it, you know.
pine.
You know, and if one of them guys bought it, you know, let me stop, man. Let me stop. So we just got to create a new identity, man. You know,
Yeah,
that's all. Track our money weekly, man. That's all. You know,
yeah.
it's just some tabs, some points that we can do. Track your money every day. Look at what you spend. You know, some lunch hours just go home or whatever. Pack a lunch. Don't go out and eat the $10 meal because they $20 now.
No, it's more than $20.
Wow. You know, I'm talking about lunch break, man. That's all.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
gotta.
know.
But depending on where you want to eat, if you want to get some quality, you gonna pay that 30-40 ball.
Right,
It's out
right,
the door. You know
right.
what I'm saying? You got
Yeah.
to.
Hey,
That's
yeah,
for
we
one
got it.
person.
Hey, you know, that's funny you said that too, because it made me think about women, because women will shop just because it's a deal.
Yeah.
We got to cut that out, man. That's retail therapy, they call it, whatever the case. Stop
It
buying
ain't no deal.
impulsively.
It's not a deal.
Right.
Listen, they had it out for one price. They said, okay, we had this many people buy it. Let's put it out for this price for the people who didn't buy it.
Exactly.
Get them to buy it.
Still gonna make more money. Right, right.
Exactly.
So yeah, man, and then we gotta deny ourselves. Just take another day, not now. Like how you say, if you can't buy it 5 times, I'm gonna give the public a break. I'm gonna give the audience a break. If you can't buy it 2 times,
No, fine. We ain't gonna play with them like you can't play with them.
right? That's true.
Because you
That's
got to
true.
break the cycle. Because now they feel like, oh, I can buy it again. No, 5 times.
Right,
You
right.
got to be able to, and it won't hurt.
Yeah, yeah. And
You
another thing, you know, if I can show y'all, I have a vision board. So it might
feel
change once in a
the hood,
while.
the hood table said, you ain't lying. I can use some retail therapy right now.
See that? Hey, deny yourself. Deny yourself, hood
That's a
table.
fact,
Deny
though.
yourself. You know?
Especially when you really want something. When you really want something, you just be like, damn, hey,
Yeah,
they ain't no
yeah,
clearance and stuff.
yeah, yeah, man. But still, man, you know, think long term, you know, that's all. Think long term, you know.
Yeah,
Wealth
yeah,
starts in the mind before it ever touches the bank account. You know,
yeah,
we got to change our mindset, you know.
yeah. No,
So
for real.
yeah, man. That's about all I got for us, man. You know, we can really get down into the breakdown of actually how we start to pull from these credit bureaus, like how you was talking about the deletion of the increase. You know, I got that on a PDF. But
Look,
you
see, now they playing. Now they playing.
what they say.
People say, Mama needs some new shoes, LOL. And then their pretty face say, don't deny yourself, LOL. You see what I'm saying? Look, they
See,
play.
and it's look, and the funny part about it is that the women is the ones saying it,
Yeah.
the men is the ones gonna be spending it.
Well, you know, yeah, exactly. And let me tell you some real shit, though. Do you know that women are the number one consumers in,
Yeah, yeah,
in the
because they gonna spend our money, they gonna spend
yeah,
their money, they gonna
exactly.
spend everybody
That's
else's
why they
money.
say shit like, your money is my money and my money is my money type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because
You know,
they
so
know. Who we trying to impress?
I think that if we grab the women, if the women get this understanding first and now pass it down to they seed, you know, to their grandchildren, then it'll change, you know. But the women gotta get themselves together, man.
Right, right.
I grew up through the era to where the Black Power movement, you know, the women start wearing the froze. You see the women with the dreads and the froze. Now they done went right back to the wigs and the eyelashes, man. But
Yeah.
let me stop once again. You
It be like
know,
that. We
you don't
already,
need
hey, look, we already went over them weave numbers, man, and the makeup numbers, man.
right.
It's
Yeah.
crazy work. You know what I mean? But I like natural females anyway. I don't know why y'all wear that shit for real. Like that's y'all don't need that
Well,
shit.
I do too. I like a natural female, and then I'm not knocking the fact that they can dress up and get very costumish, and it does look good. Just
Yeah.
it's just a way to do it, and you don't have to break the bank to do it.
Hey, no, I done seen some witchcraft, all right?
Yeah,
I done
we ain't talking about that, man. We talk. Hey, hey, I have too, man. They put. I'm like, what the hell? Is that the same person? All right, y'all. Hey, look, because I almost said bring up a picture, but no. Yeah, it's yeah,
For
but
real. It's real out here, man. It's
it
real.
does. It gets real serious, but and not to be funny or nothing, but these men they putting a fake
Hey,
hair.
look, you know they got the man weaves going, man.
I think it's cool for those that wear it, but man, it's doing too much right now,
I
man. We
feel
gotta
like,
be confident.
man, if you got it, man, as a man, listen, talk to the men real quick. If it's to the point where you got to get a man wig, man, just go and cut it off, man. It's a wrap. It's a
Yeah,
wrap.
but I think that the man wig is not necessarily the wig itself. It's the lack of confidence, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's what we go through. We
Yeah.
we want to be something so much more than what we truly are, and
Mm.
we already that we are what we looking for, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Man
Oh,
wig,
that's fact.
man, female weave, just take it all off, man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, it's been a great one once again.
Of course, man. Of course.
Yeah, I
Of course.
enjoyed it. So y'all welcome to go ahead and going on out and party, whatever the case may be, grind. I'm
Hey
talking.
man, look, look, I be saying what I be saying. I still find myself outside. I'm still working on myself.
Okay.
I'm still working on myself, man. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I mean?
ain't mad at you, man.
Yeah. Cause it be some money outside too. So I'll be still mingling, man.
Right. Well, let's hear some of that music, man, and I catch back up with y'all on Monday.
All
What
right,
is
man.
it? Relationship Monday,
You already know, man. I'm about to go ahead and throw that meat on. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna play that Meech Packs, man. Spread love, man, because a lot of y'all needed more hugs growing up, man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I played it last week, and I felt like it was powerful. So yeah, I'm out of here, y'all.
Yep.
Let's play the
Peace
song.
to love.
All right.
Blessings.
I watch life inside of you grow.
I've had people go through the death experiences, and after they've died and they're on the spirit side, they look back at the life and they'll say, it was just a play. I can see all the actors on stage getting ready to come out and play their parts. I can see the actors in the wings getting ready to come on. And they said, but when I was there, it was so hard and so difficult. But now that I'm on the other side, it was like a blink of an eye.
Always kept me a spaceship near, but a studio, so some would say it appears. Peer deep in my eyes until your soul feel pierced like your ears till it's clear. I'm only partially here, another piece of me floating on the ocean, 1,000,000 miles from the pier. So my flow is timeless, I have no peers. I notice all the illusionary injections, surgeries and veneers. The lack of self-love's apparent and clear. Maybe we needed more hugs growing up, or even parents that hear what we would've expressed if we didn't fear. Wanted to tell you what I couldn't, I was just too scared, is what a child would say. By then it's far too late. How do we break a cycle that started so long ago with ancestors we couldn't trace? For all we know, we the children of beings from outer space, and everything is out of place. Most of the families are separated, loyalties negotiated. We supposed to be melanated and highly illuminated. We used to be God's favorite, but now we all devastated, mentally decapitated, and heavy's the head. I wake some days, give thanks, and think if this day would be better in bed, but I fight it instead. Sometimes my thoughts so deep, I don't even speak, just write it instead. I know this thought the illusionary injections, surgeries and veneers. The lack of self-love's apparent and clear. Don't get it twisted, I battle with some addictions. Nobody's perfect or even near, but it helps to know who cares. Maybe we needed more hugs growing up. I know this thought the illusionary injections, surgeries and veneers. The lack of self-love's apparent and clear. Don't get it twisted, I battle with some addictions. Nobody's perfect or even near, but it helps to know who cares. Maybe we needed more hugs growing up. How do I top a first verse written so perfect? It's almost like scriptures just keep flowing like water and river. Tell whoever controlling this simulation time to free or forgive us. Cause niggas lost all patience like doctors on vacations. Energy change, most best friends would make statements. Judgment lapse cause people confusing gimmicks with greatness. Used to stay faded, day to day to escape shit that never would make sense. Like how I got these $100 kicks on my feet that was made for 25 cents. Overseas in a factory full of enslaved kids. Couldn't see a role model, well only on TV. Turn it off and go outside, back to the debauchery. Instant beef, you find yourself on the wrong street. New disease, the government got to just release. No relief from confusion and the conspiracies. Only hunt the weak, speak affirmations throughout the week. Truth and righteousness, only thing left we haven't seen. Life is scripted, only difference, there's no fast forwarding scenes.
We get caught up in the illusion.
I know this thought the illusionary injections, surgeries and veneers. The lack of self-love's apparent and clear. Don't get it twisted, I battle with some addictions. Nobody's perfect or even near, but it helps to know who cares. Maybe we needed more hugs growing up.
You are the producer, director, and actor in your own play. You're also the script writer. But the script is being written as it goes along. You know what that means?
I know this thought the illusionary injections, surgeries and veneers. The lack of self-love's apparent and clear. Don't get it twisted, I battle with some addictions. Nobody's perfect or even near, but it helps to know who cares. Maybe we needed more hugs growing up.
You can change the script anytime you want. You're the writer. You're the actor. You don't like the way the scene is going? Change it. This is how much power we have, we don't realize it. So you're just an actor wearing your costume to play this part. But when God burst out and sent everyone out, he said, "Go, my children, and learn. Learn everything there is to learn. Have every experience there is to experience."